What if I told you that the healthy breakfast you eat every morning is training your body to store fat? Not because you're lazy, not because your metabolism is broken, but because you were told to eat at the wrong time. For decades, we've been conditioned to believe that skipping breakfast is dangerous, that you'll shut down your metabolism, that you must eat early to stay healthy. But here's the biological reality no one explains. The moment you eat, you raise insulin. And when insulin is elevated, your body cannot access stored fat. It doesn't matter how clean your food is, oatmeal, smoothies, whole grain toast. If insulin is up, fat burning is off. Now think about this. If you wake up and eat immediately, then snack, then eat lunch, then snack again, you are keeping insulin elevated for most of your waking hours. That means your body rarely enters fat burning mode, rarely enters repair mode, rarely gets a metabolic break. And over time, that pattern doesn't just affect your weight. It affects your liver, your energy, your long-term metabolic health. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly why. Here's the problem. Most people think weight gain is about calories. Eat less, move more. If that doesn't work, blame genetics, or age, or hormones. But that's surface-level thinking. Modern nutrition advice is obsessed with what you eat. Low fat, low carb, high protein, organic, plant-based. Yet it rarely addresses something more powerful: how often you eat and what that does to insulin. And insulin is the real driver here. Insulin is not a bad hormone. It's essential. It helps move glucose from your bloodstream into your cells. Without it, you couldn't survive. But here's what no one tells you. Insulin is also a storage hormone. Its job is to signal your body to store energy, first as glycogen, then as fat. When insulin is high, fat burning is turned off completely. Now think about the typical eating pattern. Breakfast at 7 a.m., snack at 10, lunch at 1, snack at 4, dinner at 7, maybe something after dinner. That means insulin rises 5, 6, sometimes 7 times a day. Your body never gets a real break. So while people focus on cutting 200 calories or switching from white rice to brown rice, they completely ignore the hormonal environment that determines whether their body is storing or burning. This is why so many people say, I'm eating healthy, but I'm not losing weight, because they're still eating frequently. And it gets deeper than just fat loss. Constant insulin elevation over time can push the body toward insulin resistance. Your cells become less responsive. The pancreas produces more insulin to compensate. Fat storage becomes easier. Energy crashes become more common. Cravings increase. And instead of addressing this root issue, chronic insulin stimulation, we prescribe appetite suppressants, fat burners, or simply tell people to try harder. We treat symptoms. We don't fix the metabolic environment. The real root cause isn't breakfast itself. It's the constant state of feeding, the lack of metabolic rest, the absence of time for your body to lower insulin, switch fuel sources, access stored fat, and activate internal repair mechanisms. Your body was not designed to be in storage mode all day. It was designed for cycles. And when you interrupt those cycles for years, the consequences show up, not overnight, but slowly. Stubborn fat, low energy, fatty liver, metabolic dysfunction. That's the root problem. Let me simplify this. Your body runs on 2 primary fuel systems, sugar and fat. Think of sugar as quick cash in your wallet. It's easy to access, easy to spend. Fat, on the other hand, is your savings account. Massive reserves, but you don't tap into it unless necessary. Now here's the key. Insulin decides which account you're allowed to use. When you eat, especially carbohydrates, your blood glucose rises. In response, your pancreas releases insulin. Insulin's job is to move that glucose into cells for immediate energy or storage. But insulin does something else at the same time. It locks the door to your fat stores. This is not a metaphor. On a biochemical level, Insulin suppresses an enzyme called hormone-sensitive lipase, the enzyme responsible for breaking down stored fat into usable fatty acids. When insulin is elevated, lipolysis, fat burning, is suppressed. So even if you have plenty of stored fat, your body cannot access it. Now imagine this happening 5 or 6 times per day. Every time you eat, insulin rises. Every time insulin rises, fat burning pauses. Your body becomes metabolically dependent on incoming food. This is why many people feel shaky, irritable, or exhausted if they skip a meal. It's not because they're weak. It's because their body has been conditioned to rely on constant glucose supply instead of efficiently switching to fat. This metabolic flexibility, the ability to switch between fuel sources, is crucial for long-term health. When you extend the time between meals, something different begins to happen. After several hours without food, insulin levels start to fall. As insulin drops, the lock on fat cells opens. Hormone-sensitive lipase becomes active. Stored triglycerides are broken down into fatty acids. Your body begins shifting toward fat oxidation. Then, if fasting continues long enough, another powerful process activates: autophagy. Autophagy is your body's internal recycling system. Damaged proteins, dysfunctional cellular components, even defective mitochondria are broken down and reused. It's a cellular cleanup mechanism. But here's the catch. Autophagy is suppressed in a fed state. When nutrients, especially insulin and amino acids, are constantly present, your body prioritizes growth and storage. It does not prioritize repair. This is why constant eating doesn't just affect weight, it affects cellular maintenance. And let's talk about the liver. When insulin remains elevated for prolonged periods, the liver converts excess glucose into fat through a process called de novo lipogenesis. Over time, this can contribute to fat accumulation in the liver, even in people who don't drink alcohol. So the issue isn't simply calories, it's chronic signaling. If insulin is repeatedly elevated throughout the day, your body receives one consistent message: store. Do not access reserves. Do not repair. Do not switch fuel systems. But when insulin is allowed to fall, when there is space between meals, your metabolism shifts. You burn fat, you stabilize energy, you activate repair pathways. Your body was built for this rhythm. The problem is not that you eat breakfast. The problem is that you never stop eating long enough for your biology to do what it was designed to do. So what do you actually do with this information? I'm not telling you to starve yourself. I'm not telling you to ignore hunger. And I'm definitely not telling you to make extreme changes overnight. What we're aiming for is metabolic space, time for insulin to fall and your body to switch fuel systems. Here's how you do that. 1. Stop snacking. This is the simplest and most powerful first step. If you currently eat 3 meals and 2 or 3 snacks, eliminate the snacks first. Keep your meals structured, but give your body clear breaks between them. Even a 4 to 5 hour gap between meals allows insulin to drop more effectively than constant grazing. Most people see improvements in energy just from this one change. 2. Delay breakfast gradually. You don't need to skip breakfast tomorrow. Start by delaying it 30 to 60 minutes. Let your body use stored energy in the morning instead of immediately refueling. Over time, you may find that you're not truly hungry early in the morning, just conditioned to eat. Eventually, many people transition comfortably to 2 meals per day, not because they're forcing it, but because their hunger becomes more stable. 3. Prioritize protein and whole foods. When you do eat, make it count. Each meal should contain adequate protein, healthy fats, and minimally processed carbohydrates. Protein helps maintain muscle mass and improve satiety. Whole foods reduce excessive glucose spikes compared to ultra-processed options. Remember, the goal isn't zero insulin. The goal is controlled intentional insulin spikes followed by recovery periods. 4. Avoid liquid sugar, even healthy ones. Smoothies, fruit juices, sweetened coffee drinks, even if labeled natural, can spike glucose rapidly. Liquids digest faster, often leading to sharper insulin responses. If you're trying to improve metabolic flexibility, remove liquid sugars first. 5. Protect sleep and stress levels. Chronic stress and sleep deprivation elevate cortisol, which can indirectly affect blood sugar regulation and insulin sensitivity. If you're sleeping 5 hours a night and living in constant stress, changing meal timing alone won't fix everything. Metabolic health is systemic. 6. Be patient with adaptation. If you've eaten frequently for years, your body may initially resist longer gaps between meals. You may feel hungry earlier than expected. That doesn't mean the strategy is wrong. It means your metabolism is adapting. Within a few weeks, many people notice more stable energy, fewer cravings, and improved mental clarity. This is not about punishment. It's about restoring rhythm. Give your body time without food, and it will remember how to function properly. Now, here's something most people don't realize. If insulin is constantly elevated, it doesn't just affect fat burning. It directly impacts insulin resistance, fatty liver, and even long-term risk for type 2 diabetes. And there's one specific early warning sign your body gives before blood sugar numbers ever look abnormal. In the next video, I'm going to break down how insulin resistance actually develops and the subtle symptoms almost everyone ignores. If you're serious about fixing the root cause, that's the video you need to watch next.